Hey YouTube, Brian from RightServers here again, and this episode we'll go through and set up our replicated MySQL servers. So I've already got everything set up in here, so that we can make sure as we go through it we'll have it all working. So basically all you want to do is pull out two servers, and you want to go ahead and name them to something. Important part to get this start up is you have to set this to something, and this will be server 1, so we'll leave the server ID as 1. Then you want to set the password. That way you'll be able to access web interface, which we'll do in a minute here as well. So your second server, you want to change server ID to 2. And of course you can use different numbers, but just make sure you don't have multiple servers that are the same number. So if you just have 2, the easiest way is just 1 and 2. And set the password here again. And same thing with replication mode. You see the options here, master slave and then master and slave, so depending on your setup you can select different things in here. But for the demo, just doing master and slave seems to be the easiest. Then we'll go back to the main volume screen here, and I'll show you what I did wrong the first time, which is when you go to create this volume, we create it as an ext3 snapshot, but what you really want to do, I'll go ahead and show you here. So when you go to create the file systems here, is you want to create it as raw. And this is because the MySQL appliances, when it first starts up, if it doesn't detect that it's already linked up to a database, it'll go on and create the database. So it'll write over all of your files. So and it also will fail to start if you already have a file system. So if you make a file system ext3 and stick it in here, it'll fail to start because it already detects the file system. So, but then once you have these up and running, probably the best thing to do is change auto create from 1. This is what goes on and automatically creates the databases. So once you have this set up and running, you can set this to 0, and then that way you don't have to worry about if you ever have a problem, some sort of bug occurs, you don't have to worry about these appliances overwriting anything. So it's safe to set this to 0 once everything's up and running. So we can go on and do that. Then once you make your volumes and assign them in here, again, it's pretty simple. You assign the volumes, set your set this to bin logs, and we'll set this to the volume we just created for it, which is just a simple raw volume. That way when this runs, it will go ahead and set this up as an ext3 snapshot and install a test database for us, and then we'll be ready to go. And then when you go to connect all this, you just want to connect your servers to in on server 1, and then you just want to link your R-ins to your R-outs, like so. And that's it as far as connecting. You don't really have to do anything else. I went ahead and also set up a little log appliance, which is just the NAS appliance. I just renamed it to logs, and then we're only going to use the Cifs port on it. So you just connect your log outs to Cifs, and that way you'll be able to collect all your log info later on if you want to. And so that's it for these really. That's what I've got set up here, just to save some time. And so when you go in here now that this is all hooked up, eventually we'll set up some ports and we'll be able to SSH in. But now that these are running though, you'll be able to log in like so. And the cool part I think about the MySQL databases is you can log in through web, and it gives you a nice little status screen here. So you can see that your replication is okay. And this is also monitored by the Applogic controller, so that when replication fails, or if you have any sort of problems with it, you'll get dashboard alerts. Then, of course, if you have your dashboard configured to send email alerts, you get email alerts as well, which is pretty nice. So, and I haven't had any problems running mine. Sometimes I'll get an email saying replication failure when it first starts up, as the grid starts up as well. But other than that, I haven't really had any problems with it. And this also has PHPMyAdmin built in, so you can manage your database. You can see we got a little test database created for us, and then it creates MySQL and information. So, and in here you can change your replication around or whatever. So it's kind of nice. So this is a neat little screen, and this is why in this screen it won't launch the web browser. You won't, or the web server. You won't be able to get into this unless you set a password. So that's why we set a password here. So if you don't have access to this at all, just leave this blank and it won't start up. And then if you do want to have access to it, make sure you set a password. So there's that. We added on our logs and we hooked all the log stuff up, and I think that's it really. Now you have replicated MySQL servers on the back end here as well. So then the next episode we'll go through and we'll start adding in some more switches, and we'll set up our admin interface. We can then we'll be able to log into all of our servers